going? Thank you for stopping by. It's great catching up with old friends. Jordan Ford was one of the great all-time St. Mary's guards after a couple years with the G League, getting a shot at the NBA with the Sacramento Kings in Summer League. Jordan Ford with us. How's it going, young man?
Oh, it's going really well out here in Vegas. Just enjoying my time with the Kings Summer League team. Yeah, I'm it's going really well.
What's the temperature like out there for these days?
It's so hot. It's so hot. It's even at night it's almost unbearable. So I just try to stay indoors as much as I can. But I think today it's supposed to get like 109 or something like that. So it's scorching out here.
You had a really good game against Chicago. In fact, 25 points and some of the other numbers that stand out to the 8 assists, only 1 turnover. How would you say the whole experience is going for you in Summer League?
Oh, it's going really well. I think it's a great opportunity for me to show what I can do. And, playing with the Stockton Kings last year, I kind of know the system a little bit already. So, and the team is comfortable with me already. They kind of know who I am. So, I think it's going really well, and I feel like I'm showcasing a lot for teams to see.
What have they told you that you need to get better at if you're going to make the league this time?
It's always going to be my frame. Just keep getting stronger, keep filling out my frame, and defense. Keep working on defense. I feel like I'm making improvements each year on the defensive end, and that's always going to be a work in progress. But I'm looking forward to improving in the areas I need to.
You've always been a worker, so what about the strength part? Are you having to lift a lot more, eat more? How does that work?
Yeah, I stay on top of my lifting. The hardest part for me is the eating. Just making sure I get the calorie intake, especially with all the calories that I'm burning. So that's definitely been the toughest part. But I was able to put on some weight by the end of last season to now. So I'm hoping to, after summer league, I'm gonna get right back in the gym and focus on trying to put some more weight on.
Hey, what does it mean to you, Jordan, to be doing this for your hometown team? I mean, you grew up as a Folsom legend. You had that great career, playing for Mike Wall, and now you get a chance to play for the Kings.
Oh, it's amazing, like for everything to just come back full circle, for me to be back in Sacramento, and it's crazy because as a professional, you don't really know exactly where you're gonna play. I played in Greece, I played down in LA, and just for me to be back home, I feel like it's a super rare situation. So I'm definitely super blessed and grateful that I can end up back in my hometown.
You had that very big game against the Warriors, playing at the Golden One. What did it mean to you to be there? And you have this great calm and confidence about you. Were you nervous before that game?
I mean, I feel like before every game, I get like a natural, little nervousness, but
Hey,
it's a,
hey,
it's
before
a,
we continue, Jordan, look at that dude. Look,
yeah, yeah, that's a totally different dude.
yeah. Wow.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Hey,
But
how
yeah,
long did it take you to grow the beard after that baby face stage?
I'll say after high school, like my senior year of high school, I started with like a little patch here, like right when I got into college. And then all of a sudden I was able to grow hair. And by my freshman year of college, I was full grown beard. I'm sure people were probably so confused, like, how did he get that? His face was such a baby face. But yeah, it came in pretty quickly. Yeah.
So if you shaved it off, you'd have that face we just saw.
Probably, yeah.
I was watching the interview from that because you were the SAC B Player of the Year with that little clip, and watching you there. And you had mentioned some of the schools that were recruiting you at the time. I think you mentioned Irvine in there and Pepperdine and some other schools. But at that time, it was back sophomore year, St. Mary's wasn't one of those teams on your list. How did Randy Bennett, get into the mix for you? And what made St. Mary's the right place for you?
Yeah, so I think it was maybe end of my sophomore or junior year. They started sending, some coaches to my high school practices, and they would come check out some games and, regularly be in contact with me. And we kind of started to build that relationship. And then I ended up going on an official visit there, and I enjoyed it, everything that they did there. So and it being close to home as well. But I just thought it was a perfect fit just because I wanted to develop my game as a point guard. And, St. Mary's has had some really good point guards go through there. And that was pretty much my goal going into college. I wanted to play for a winning coach and a winning program. And just, by the end of my 4 years, I just wanted to, be the best player I could be coming out of there.
Yeah, great reputation of point guards out of St. Mary's. Of course, Patty
Mm-hmm.
Mills, Matthew Dellavedova. You saw guys like Emmett Narr and Joe Rahan
yeah.
really play. What did those veteran players give you in terms of teaching and taking your game to the next level?
Oh, yeah, definitely a lot. I mean, just my freshman year, I was kind of able to, sit back, and I didn't play as much my freshman year, but just being able to sit back and watch how they lead the team and, just watch how they operate on a day-to-day basis. It was huge, and then I ended up being able to play with Emmett the next year, which was fantastic. And yeah, no, I feel like it did a lot for my development.
One of the things I always noticed about you, I talk about it with Alex Jensen on the radio broadcast. I say, you know what? Jordan's walking around like he thinks he's the best guy in the gym. And when you got that kind of swagger, right, when you think you're the best dude out there, that's got to make a difference in terms of how you play.
Yeah, definitely. Confidence is a big thing in basketball. You could have, really good skills, but if you don't have the confidence to go out there and, showcase those skills, then you're not going to be as good. And I feel like a lot of the confidence just comes through training and all the work that I put in. I really, trust the work that I put in. And, I just feel like every time I step on the court, you kind of got to have a chip on your shoulder. And that's kind of what I have.
You have one now?
Most definitely.
How much did playing with an older sister when you were a kid, beating you up, help you in terms of making you be persistent, not get down on yourself and being able to hang in there?
Oh yeah, definitely. It was we had some great battles. I was a lot smaller. I was about 8 years old. She was 11. So she had a big height difference, and she was a lot stronger than I was. And I was more skilled than her, but she used to just back me down in the post and just get layups all day. And I would get so mad because my dad, he would cheat. Like he would be the ref and he would cheat during the games in her favor. And yeah, I remember after those games, I used to cry and cry just because I wanted to win so badly. And yeah, no, we had some great battles, and it definitely made me a lot tougher and a better player and more competitive.
We'll make sure we give your sister a shout out then during this particular podcast.
Yeah, no doubt. Shout out to Jen Ford.
Give her some love. Hey, you've done a million interviews, people talking about chess, right? Because you grew up as this, champion player and became very successful at a young age. In fact, I want to show a picture of you as a little kid. Your mom hooked me up with this one. How old were you there? How old?
I honestly couldn't tell you. I don't know. I look really young. I'm just picking up the pieces, placing them anywhere on the board, but I don't even know. I was probably 4 or 5. Yeah, 4 or 5. Yeah.
And very successful at an early age. Most kids don't have a attention span to be able to, hang with, even up checkers, much less, a game like chess.
Yeah. My dad taught me at a really young age, and it started with me just picking up the pieces and placing places, and then once I was old enough to comprehend what was going on, he put me through some training, and I really developed there. And the training was really tough. It's a lot different than the training in basketball. This is like more mentally taxing. So we were able to spend longer hours training, but it was very, very mentally taxing.
What's the longest that you've had to play a chess match?
Yeah, so I played a match in one of the state championship games. I played against somebody named Nicholas Nip. He was at the time he beat the record for the youngest master of all time, and we ended up matching up in one of the games. I actually lost, but all the kids, they'd finished their matches. There's a room full of bunch of kids, in a chess tournament, and they finished all their matches, and we were still in there, but we were still in there for like an extra hour and a half. And what they had to do is they had to speed up the tournament because they had to keep the tournament going. People had to go home. So they ended up putting a clock in there. So we both had 10 minutes on each side to finish up. But It ended up being probably like a couple hours, because we weren't playing with the clock, and then they came in and put a clock 10 minutes on each side.
Well, because some of those old school Bobby Fischer matches you hear about, they're several days or a couple weeks of even playing a match. That's crazy.
Yeah. That's too long. That's too long. Yeah, I'd rather just sit down, and just play a couple hours. Yeah.
Well, I ask you about the patience part of it because it relates to life. Maybe it does in terms of being
Yeah.
patient for the shot. You've had to wait a couple years.
Oh yeah, most definitely, most definitely. All good things take time, and you just gotta keep putting in the work and keep trusting the work, and um, yeah, you just when you really wanna get somewhere, you just gotta keep chasing your dream, and that's pretty much what I'm doing right now. And yeah, it's been great. It's been working out, so I'm hoping that I can get a shot.
If not with the Kings, you're certainly showcasing your game to be somewhere in the league.
Most definitely. I just want to show teams that I can help a team win games, and hopefully, I would love it to be with the Kings, but if not, then hopefully another team will see what I can do and hopefully put me on the roster.
I know you're a big fan of Steph Curry. You worked at his camp several years ago. He was playing, of course, Golden State when you're at St. Mary's. And the rap coming out of college for him was, hey, this is like a small combo guard, not really a true point guard. Do you see any similarities in terms of maybe critique going into the NBA and then proving those people wrong?
Most definitely. The first thing they look at me is I can score the ball, and same thing with Steph. He can really score the ball, but I see myself as much more than that. I feel like I'm a good playmaker, and I feel like I've improved since coming out of college with my playmaking. Um, and yeah, I definitely scoring is definitely something that I do well, but I also enjoy getting my players involved and getting everybody into the flow of the game, because that's going to make it easier for everybody else. If we're all playing the right way and sharing the love, then everybody's going to look good.
I remember one particular game. I'll never forget it because I was in Vegas with the team
Mhm.
2019. You played Gonzaga in Spokane and lost to them by a couple hundred points, like 45, right? I mean, it was the worst
Yeah,
loss that Randy Bennett ever had at St. Mary's. And the
yeah,
odds going into that game, and I couldn't bet on it, but it was 35-1 on St. Mary's actually winning that game, much
yeah.
less covering the spread, but 35-1. And to take out the number one team in the country had to be, something that you'll always remember.
Oh, most definitely. That was a great moment, a moment that you can't really put into words, honestly. Um, and that just showed the belief that we had as a team. I think we lost by 48 points at Gonzaga, and when we played them at home, we got a better feel for them. We played them close pretty much the whole game, but then they ended up pulling away. And by the third time, we just had this amazing confidence that we were going to pull this win out. Like, we were all locked in and all on board, and we couldn't wait to go out there and play in Vegas, because we felt like we had a legit shot to win the conference tournament and get into the NCAA tournament, and that's exactly what we did.
An amazing performance. Of course, Jordan Hunter had an out-of-body experience. He was the tournament's most outstanding player. Tommy Kuzi, a shot for the ages. You had Fitz out there, Tanner Krebs. Truly a team effort.
It was truly a team effort, and we couldn't have done it without everybody being on board. If one person was off the ship, then it definitely would have sunk. So yeah, no, it was definitely a team effort from this coaching staff down to the players.
I saw Hunter in the bowels of the arena afterwards. He goes, "Man, this place is effing lit." How crazy it was in terms of the atmosphere and the feeling he had about the whole experience.
Who said that?
Hunter.
Oh man, yeah, no, it was definitely lit. It was definitely lit, man. He had a great performance. I think it was 15 and 12 rebounds, if I'm not mistaken, um, against some of the best bigs in the country. So yeah, no, it was definitely a very we'll all remember that night for the rest of our lives.
I wish I could say it with the Aussie accent like he did because it was pretty cool.
I bet. Yeah.
Hey, you had an unreal run at St. Mary's, in particular the last 3 years. And in 2020, you went out of orbit in the conference tournament. You had a 42-point game against Pepperdine, and you were 4 points away from being the all-time leading scorer. I mean, you played one tournament game. You played 2 minutes of an NCAA tournament game You're the all-time leading scorer there behind Dellavedova at that point. Did that bother you to not get that shot?
Oh, I mean, most definitely. Just being a competitor, like I definitely wanted to, get the scoring record, but I wanted to, more importantly, play in the NCAA tournament, just for the team. That was definitely my most important objective, just to get one more shot with the team and hopefully make a run at something cool with the team. But that was definitely my main priority. Although, like the scoring record, it would have been nice, but sometimes that's just how it goes, and yeah, there's not much I can do about it. Not really in my control.
Have you been following the program since you left?
Oh yeah, definitely. I still tune into some games, the best I can, and yeah, I try to follow as much as I can. And sometimes I'll still go down there and play open runs and play with some of the guys. So yeah.
They gave Connecticut the best game they had in the tournament, the team that won the national championship.
Mm-hmm.
Got Elias coming back this next year with Mahaney, and Dukas decides, hey, I'm going to give it another shot because I think we could do something really special.
No, yeah, I'm really looking forward to this upcoming season. They got some really good guys coming back, and I feel like this will be a special team. So I'm super excited to see all the work that they put in throughout the summer and the fall, and during the season. I'm sure they'll make a great run.
Hey, I'd like to thank your mom for hooking me up with the pictures and the old school video. I hope that there was none that made you blush too much.
Oh no, it's all good. I've seen those pictures and videos 100 times. But yeah, my mom, she videotaped pretty much everything since I was a little kid, from the chess stuff on to like all my basketball games. So it's pretty amazing that we have all this footage and all these memories.
I know I spoke to your dad during your time, and he would come up afterwards and talk about different things that you trained on. And he started working with you when you were really young. What's your earliest memories of training with your dad, and what did you learn from him about the sport?
Yeah, so my earliest memories were we would always learn from other people first, because he was more of a baseball player. He played a little basketball, but he was a baseball player. So we would learn from other trainers, like on DVDs, Gannon Baker in particular, when we first started. And we would watch those DVDs and we would go to the gym, and we'd be there for a couple hours, be at the gym, just working out, just working on the stuff that we saw in the video. And yeah, it was great. And I remember, after every workout, we'd pretty much go get a Jamba Juice afterwards. And that's definitely something that sticks out to me. He had me shooting tons and tons of layups as a kid. We just, for like an hour straight, we would just shoot layups, like a lot of ball handling, a lot of layups. So yeah, he was definitely my first trainer, and we still do work to this day. So
What about the floater game? That's a huge part of what you do, getting in the key to get off that shot quickly. Who are your floater role models? I think you mentioned maybe Tony Parker back in the day.
yeah, so my dad, he's the one that taught it to me first. He did teach me how to shoot the floater, but um, and then I've had trainers throughout the years also teach me, different ways to get into my floater, like different footwork and stuff like that. And then I've also watched a ton of Tony Parker. Just I like to watch people that are more my size, just to see, what I can take from their game, since we're similar in size. If it works for them, it could work for me. So I watched a lot of Tony Parker and just loved how he got in the lane. And he's small, so he doesn't always get all the way to the rack. So sometimes he just stops for that little short shot. And that's something I loved, and I thought I could take it to another level. So I definitely added it to my bag and made it a staple of my game.
I want to make sure that all those NBA teams, I'm pointing to the camera right now, he's got a handle, he can score, gets guys involved, and now he can guard. Hook him up.
Yeah.
Hook him up.
Yeah. Hopefully. That's what I'm working towards.
Jordan Ford, I always appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
That's a good player and a good guy. St. Mary's legend, Jordan Ford of the Sacramento Kings. Smash the like and subscribe buttons, helps out in such a big way. The audio version of the Dave Lewis Show is on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcasts. With 5-star reviews, the positive comments are huge, helps out in such a big way. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll talk to you next time.